What do you like about your running back group? Who's starting to stand out?
Well, they're getting better. They're getting better. We've been spending a lot of time just, addressing our needs, things we need to do better. For us, we're trying to get the most out of every run, every time we have the football. So we talk about and practice things to help us get more yards when we get to the guy we didn't block or couldn't block. That's been our emphasis, extra yards. So last couple of days, they've really, really improved in that area.
Are Quadre and Shantez neck and neck right now?
I say they are. I say it's, we're going to need both of them. We need both of them to improve. I'm not ready to say one of them's a starter, one of them's a backup. They're both, solid players, and we just got to just get them better. And they're interchangeable. They can do everything. So
been a lot of talk of French working on offense and defense, but I guess you're getting a big piece of them too, right, on special teams?
Yeah, French is a good player. He's a good player, and everybody knows Quadre's a good player. So right now, we got to develop another return man, and then we got to make preparation. If we do have the success we had last year, then we're going to have all the trick kick situations. So we need somebody else that can handle the ball back there, and he's fast. He's got to learn how to set blocks. He just runs fast, and sometimes we're blocking the guy outside, and he runs outside. So once he trains his eyes, he'll be a good weapon for us.
There's a lot to ask a pretty young kid to play on offense, play on defense, and have a special teams role as well.
I reckon it is, but that's what good players do.
How important touch with James Conner at all?
I see him around. I don't call him. We don't go out to dinner and stuff, but I see him. He's been in the building. We've probably what's today? Thursday. I probably saw him twice this week. He's been at practice a couple of days.
Obviously, he's a lot more mature than most people his age. And I'm sure there's some advice that nobody can give him. But what's been your impression of how he's handled not only obviously the comeback last year, but kind of the run up to the draft?
He's done a good job. James, he's a blue collar guy. He works. That's the most important thing, working. And some of the pro coaches that I've talked to have said he's an impressive guy. What he does on the field, how he handles himself. Those guys, they give them football information and see how well they can retain it and interpret it. And they say he's done a good job there, and I would expect nothing less than that.
Going into last year, you felt like your special teams were capable of producing some big plays, some touchdowns. You obviously got those. What gave you that confidence? Was it Quadre himself? Was it the schemes you had worked out?
No,
some of the guys you were going to have?
No, we don't change much, and it's just better understanding. In our meeting room, you see that stuff back there, effort, knowledge, all those things. And those are the things we work on. It's not the scheme that makes you good. It's not the one individual that makes you good. Of course, it helps. But it's all 11 guys knowing their job and doing their job. And this will be the third year in the same teacher. So I expect them to keep getting better and better. And at some point, I expect it to go in the autopilot, where those guys like George can teach the guy behind him. I expect that to happen at some point.
I think last time we talked, you said Kessman was a little too erratic, but from a little bit we get to see here, it looks like he's maybe getting more consistent.
Man, both those guys have done a good job the last week or so. I don't know the percentages off the top of my head, but I'm really impressed. I'm a lot more at ease about that than I was 3 weeks ago. He kicked one just barely left yesterday, 61-yarder. So that's pretty good.
Is that the longest he's had this spring that you've seen?
That's the longest I've seen. That's a long field goal. He's strong. He's got a smooth stroke. For him, it's just all the mental stuff of looking at what he's supposed to look at and just blocking out all the peripheral things that make kickers miss. Foot placement, approach, swing, off arm, all those things. So he's really, both those kids have really gotten better in the last couple of weeks.
61-yarder came close, you said?
Oh, it would have been good from 66, 67. It was just about a foot left.
Oh, okay. If it's not going to be Maddox and it's not going to be Henderson or Maurice, who's going to be your next returner?
Say it again?
The next guy you could look at besides Maurice and Henderson and Maddox as far as returning kicks and punts.
I hope for goodness we won't have to go to our fourth guy.
So you're okay with those three right there?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have any of the young guys stood out on the coverage units?
A lot of them are. I mean, a lot of them are learning. I mean, you know, what they learn in high school, what we do is a lot different. I'm expecting big things out of Campbell. I'm expecting Henry Miller to improve. You know, a couple of those guys are doing a good job. So all those young guys, you know, they got to help us at some point, and we got a lot of guys returning. So hopefully, through training camp and through a couple games during the season, we can have those guys game ready by game 2 or 3.
Do you
They can go operate and function and play winning football.
Do you find that guys who, I mean, you just mentioned some redshirt freshmen, and those guys came in looking to play last year, they redshirt. Do you find that they're maybe a little extra hungry, even for a special teams opportunity, just because the team's getting on the field?
Well, special teams, I mean, they really don't understand because most of them didn't play special teams in high school. So initially, special teams is like, that's a burden. So just trying to get them guys to understand, you know, you can win a game on special teams. You can impact a game. It takes time. You know, you can expect them to come in and want to do it, but they're getting better. I'm very pleased with what they're doing.